Hi guys, welcome back to Melodic Guitar. Happy New Year! This is our first lesson of the new 2026 year. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to play anything over any chord ever. And what we're going to do is we're going to break you out of the ruts of playing one scale over a group of chords, and I'm going to teach you how to play through chords appropriately. Now, this is something that I've jokingly called things like the Noel Gallagher effect. Quick credit, that's nothing against his songwriting. Clearly makes a lot of money as a songwriter. Is not setting anyone's hair on fire with his guitar playing, though, is he? That idea of just this one over the top of every single chord progression, it gets super boring. And if this is something that you feel that you're struggling with, I've got a couple of really great tips that'll help you out. Now, in the intro jam there, I'm playing over the chords C major, A minor, D minor, and G7. G7 is a major chord, bear that in mind, it's coming up in a sec. Now, rather than just playing, because those chords are all in C major, so rather than just playing notes willy-nilly out of the C major scale or trying to stick to the major pentatonic sound all the way through, what I'm actually doing is I'm treating each chord as its own separate tone center. Now what that means is when I'm playing C major, I'm playing C major pentatonic, or just notes out of that C major vibe. Hiccup. Over the A minor pentatonic. Then it goes up to the D minor, and over the top of that chord there, I'm playing D minor pentatonic. And then when it gets to the G, G major pentatonic. Let's just have a quick listen to what that sounds like, and what I'll do is I'll play in each chord's position as we go through it so you can see it a little better. Alright, here we go. Now that there, hopefully you can just see it real quick. I wasn't playing fluidly, I was trying to give examples. I'll tell you what, let's have another go, let's have a proper go. Hi guys, I just need to interrupt this real quick just to let you know that I've built a little app for you to be able to use. I just made it using Gemini's Canvas features, but as you can see there, you've got the entire fretboard. If this little drop down thing here, the drop down doesn't come up on OBS, but there's all 12 keys on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side it's major scale, minor scale, all the modes, the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. So if I want to switch this C major to C Phrygian, for example, watch all the little blue dots. Boop! How clever's that? There's a metronome over here. I will include it in all of my lesson videos, so if you're on Substack or YouTube, if you check the comments down there, you'll be able to see this. Just open it up in a browser, have a separate web page with that open. While I do have your attention as well, guys, I'm just going to swing over here, because this is the Murdoch Does Guitar Substack. If you're not subscribed, head over and subscribe, man. It's totally free. And there is a paid tier. I'll talk about that in just a second. But for the free tier, you get all of my lesson videos, all of my mixtapes. You get any interviews that I do, all of the work that I do with Northeast Guitars. Everything is going to be on there, and it is going to be available for free. I am hoping to start a music-related podcast later this year. That'll be coming. I'll keep you tuned with updates and things like that. That will also be free on the platform. It's like a newsletter, so if you sign up, you can get it to your email inbox, or if you're on the Substack app, just go find Murdoch Does Guitar, give me a follow. Again, totally free. The paid tier £5 a month or £50 for the entire year, what you get is all of that and then any downloadable. So the backing tracks, the lessons and tab notes, if there's anything that, like with the videos that I need to add extra bits to, all of that will be behind the paywall and you can download those. I want this to be a community, and that's why all of the stuff that you can watch or listen to or read will all be up there for free. You're paying for downloads, or if you just want to support me, like it's £5 a month, it's less than a pint, so if you do like all of that and you do want to chuck a quid in the pot for me, that's the best way to do it, man. Head over to Substack and follow me there. All of this is sponsored by me, off my own back, building it all up so that I can build a little music community for all of you. Alright guys, thanks very much, I'll see you soon. There we go, and hopefully you can hear how this is starting to shape a little bit more. Now, obviously you wouldn't hop around like that from chord to chord to chord to chord. What you want to try and do is think about where they're all situated. So if I'm starting here for the C major pentatonic, what I'll try and do is I'll try and think about A minor here as well. That would be the pentatonic. You got A and G here, and then C, D and E there. So that's quite a nice position for those two first chords. If we just pop that on again. Ooh. A minor. Now, because we're already at the business end of the neck, when it gets to D minor, I'm in this position already, so I can get up to some of those nice D minor sounding tones straight away. So let's just pop that in again. What I did at the end there was, as you guessed, came to the G7 chord, and I just played a little arpeggio using notes out of that G7. What I'm doing is on the top string I'm playing F and D, then we come down to the B string, 12th fret, B, and then instead of hitting the G, I skipped it out entirely, so I'm going B to the 10th fret of the G string, which is going to be the F again. So that note there is a D. I've grabbed it with my middle finger. Middle or third, sorry. Doesn't really matter. If you want to have that one finger per fret kind of idea. That kind of thing. Now, what I'm doing is I'm utilising this shape here because C, A minor, D minor, G7, they all fit together quite nicely. You could just as simply do it down here and have the same sort of vibe. Let's check this out. So again, yeah, just really trying to highlight what chords you're playing and treating them like their own tonal centre. So you got C, A minor, D minor and G. When I'm playing through it, I'm looking for chord tones. Over the C, I'm looking for the note C, E or G. Over the A minor, I'm looking for A, C, E. Of the D minor, I'm looking for D, F, A, and then on the G7, I'm looking for G, B, D, or F. Just something that will anchor me to the chord so that I've got a new spot to move around on. Again, make sure that you're hopping over to check out, where is it? There we go. This app I made on Google, it's got your fretboard on there. If you struggle with knowing where the notes are, you should use a tool like this so that you can see what's happening. As you can see, if you look there by the 8th fret on that top E string, so it'll be like, oh, that note there. You've got the note C. Directly below it, you've got the note G. Next to that, you've got the note A. And then above from that, D. So you can literally play the root notes of each of those chords there without actually moving. Here, let me show you. So that's C again, A, D, G. And hit that. Quite a nice way to think about how long you've got to play over each chord as well. If you listen to how long that goes, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, missed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's a long time. So you don't need to be whipping it about everywhere. You can probably just try just to put it down. Like, here, let me show you. Missed it. Got that G note on the bottom. And again. It's only because I missed it. I wanted it again. So I cheated there. I came back down. Got a B note there. Remember, G, B, D, F. They're the notes. So I'm coming down to B and then hitting the G. Lovely little sound, that. Alright, let's hit that one more time, and I'm just going to, again, I'm going to freely improv, but again, I'm trying to target notes from each of the chords, and I'm treating each chord like its own tonal center. So I'm trying to think about C major pentatonic, then switching to A minor pentatonic, then switching to D minor pentatonic, and then switching to G major pentatonic. This takes practice. That's why this first example is all in the same key. So even if you're just kind of floundering around in C while you're getting used to where the notes are, it's allowing that noodly part of our brain to figure out the fretboard and then figure out our phrases afterwards. I'm giving you express permission to noodle, but you got to noodle with intent. Don't just wicked, you know what I mean? Like, boring. Alright, let's give it a go. Woohoo! So that little run I'm doing there, for the guys that don't spend all of their time just playing blues licks, what I've got is I've got the 4th fret on the G string there, that's a B, and then the 3rd fret on the top there, that's a G, and then you move up a semitone and put your 3rd finger on the same fret as your 2nd finger. So again, you've got that gap there. So I've got the 5th fret, and then the 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret. You're trying to mute the B string in the middle. So that works over every major chord or every dominant 7 chord because you're getting that bluesy, that kind of sound. C major. Over the minor, you'll hear that it doesn't sound so good. You got. Doesn't sound awful, but it doesn't sound right either. Like, right, whatever. Alright, let's have another go. Way, whoa, 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 whoa. As we all know, Vanity will not let us do that without our distortion pedal on. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm very sorry, guys. It won't be happening again. You tell I like that lick a bit. Alright, cool. Let's move on to the slightly harder chord progression. What we're going to do is we're going to treat this next chord progression exactly the same as we treat that C major one. Each chord is its own tonal center, and there's only 2 chords in this one, so don't worry about it. We've got B minor 6, and then we've got C major 7 sharp 11. Woo! Spicy one, that fella. So 7th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, and if you want to be brave, get your big old thumb on that 8th fret on the bottom there. 7, 7, 9, 10. That's a B, that's an F sharp, that is an E, that is a G, and then you, C, and then you've got the C on the bottom there. It's nicey spicy, that one. Now, with those 2 chords, B minor 6 and then C major 7 sharp 11, we're going to make one tiny change. B minor 6 is just B minor pentatonic, but we're adding the 6. The 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. That there is a G sharp. So we're not playing a pentatonic, we're playing a hexatonic. Pentatonic has 5 notes, hexatonic has 6. And the way that I like to think about it is whenever an obscure chord comes up, you play the major or the minor pentatonic that's associated with the chord and a spicy note. Real simple. So I've got this. That's my B minor. But I'm playing B minor 6. Got that G sharp in it. That's another G sharp note there. Remember to use the fretboard map if you don't know your fretboard. But I'm just going to keep it in that position there, keep it nice and simple. Check this out. B minor 6. Then we got the sharp 11 chord. I'll show you how we're dealing with that one in a second, but for now, check out this B minor. Yeah? See how just adding it in and playing a little bit of that flavour, we've broken out of the B minor pentatonic and now we're introducing this hexatonic idea. Woohoo! Nicey spicy. Let's get that back pickup on. Oh! I don't know what it is about really, really gnarly notes played with a load of distortion. I love it, man. I think it sounds great. You can do it just as easily with... Sounds just as lovely. Let me grab that. Where's that gone? Okay, so C major 7 sharp 11. A lot going on there. Let's break it up. C major 7, so we can play the 7 if we want, but that's not the spicy note. You can quite clearly see that big sharp 11 that makes your brain go, like that's what you want to be trying to add to your major pentatonic. So you've got this C major pentatonic vibe here. Ooh. Bringing in that F sharp. You might recognize that sound a little bit. It sounds like this. So it's a Lydian sound when you think of a sharp 11. If that's a bit confusing, don't worry, there'll be notes down there so you can see how it all plays out. Make sure you are having a look at the notes down there. They're there for a reason and they're there to help. Have them up on a little separate screen so you can have a good look at them. So that's your B minor pentatonic with the G sharp added to it, making it its own hexatonic shape there. And then for the C major 7 sharp 11, let's add those together and see how we get on, eh? Okay, so I did get a little bit carried away there, but when I came up to this top part of the neck, just like when we were moving the A minor and the C major around earlier, we're moving that B minor hexatonic scale, that B minor 6 hexatonic scale, and the C major 7 sharp 11. There's a lot going into that. C major 7 sharp 11 hexatonic scale too. What I did was, when I get up here, can't see because of my big chunky sausage fingers, but that note there, that's our G sharp, and if you add that to a B minor triad, that's how you get that minor 6 sound up there. And then when it came to the C, I've got a G and a C, they're fine, they're out of the C major chord, and then this F sharp on the top is our sharp 11. So I'm just playing notes from the C major pentatonic that live around there. And then the same for the B minor. So these hexatonic scales can be applied to absolutely any chord, and it's that simple. Like, yeah, it takes a little bit of legwork, it takes a little bit of thinking about, but that's why I've provided you with backing tracks, notes, and an app that's got the entire fretboard mapped out. It's all down there. Start building this into your regular routine and you will start breaking out of those boxes. All I was doing there was pentatonic noodling with an extra note. I was thinking about adding this note to the chord tones that I'm already looking for anyway. Now, this is something that does take a lot of time. I might not have explained it very well. If I haven't, get at me in the comments and I'll do my best to go back over this and re-explain it. To tell you the truth, I've really been playing with this, the new setup, and making sure that everything works. I forgot to actually write a script for this. Could you tell that I was flying it by the seat of my pants? But yeah, it's... this is an idea that you will find your own voice with, and you will develop yourself in your own way with. It's something that you're capable of changing, adding, twisting, bending, and all you do is you look at the big horrible chord that you have no idea what it is, look up the notes that are in it, and add it to your major or minor pentatonic, and then treat each chord as its own tonal center. Remember those words, tone centers, tonal centers. All we're saying is, rather than all the chords living in one big house so we can play one scale shape over it, we're going to go visit the chords on Chord Street, and each house has its own set of notes attached to it, and giving it a little bit more flavor and help bringing out those flavors in your own playing. There is a lot to this. I'll probably do a follow-up lesson on it, but for now, just get stuck in, have a little go, and if you're stuck, get at me, send me a message, and I'll make sure that I make it as clear as I can for the next one. Thanks very much, guys. Catch you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.